Welcome to the Explainer. So let's dive right into this. Today, we're tackling a seriously massive headache that managers, data analysts, and honestly, pretty much anyone who touches a database has to deal with on a regular basis. I'm your host, and I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through decoding the art of SQL data merging. We are going to look at exactly how you can take scattered, completely disconnected pieces of information and stitch them together into brilliant, highly readable executive reports. If you've ever stared at multiple spreadsheets or tables and just wondered how you're supposed to combine them without completely losing your mind, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get started. Picture this scenario. You're a manager. It's time for year-end reviews, or maybe you're trying to pull together some actionable insights for a huge workforce presentation. You need a complete, holistic picture of your team. But how do you actually generate one unified report when your employee data is trapped in two completely different tables? You know, in most systems, data is just completely fragmented. There is no magic employee button you can press. Instead, your insights are scattered all over the system, isolated in their own little silos. For instance, on one side, you've got an employee demographics table, and that holds things like age and gender. But then, on the totally opposite side of the database, you have the employee salary table, which holds first name, last name, and salary. As a manager, you're essentially looking at two completely separate lists. It's kind of like having two distinct filing cabinets in completely different rooms of your office. And you desperately need to bring the contents of those cabinets together to actually make sense of your workforce. Section 1. Merging lists. The union operator. To solve this very real data dilemma, SQL gives us an incredibly powerful tool to take these fragmented lists and seamlessly stack them on top of each other. It's a foundational concept, but honestly, once you master it, it completely changes how you interact with databases. Here's the formal definition. Union is an SQL operator that combines rows from two or more select statements into a single unified result set. But let's just step away from the technical jargon for a second. Think of union simply as taking the contents of one filing cabinet drawer, walking over to another filing cabinet, and neatly stacking those files right on top of the others into a single master folder. You are literally just appending rows of data from one query right onto the bottom of another query. It's stacking, pure and simple. But here is where you have to be careful. If you look at the bad union example, you'll see a query selecting age and gender from demographics, and it's trying to union that with first name and last name from salary. I mean, that is a total disaster. You can't take a folder organized by numerical age and stack it into a drawer organized by alphabetical names. Your data types and your columns absolutely must match. Now, the good union shows the right way to do this. You select the first name and last name from the first table and stack it with the first name and last name from the second table. The structure has to mirror itself perfectly. Section 2. The duplicate trap. Union versus union all. Okay, so once we align our columns correctly and get the structure matching, we run into a really fascinating behavior regarding how the standard union operator actually works behind the scenes. And this is exactly where a lot of reports go completely wrong if you aren't paying close attention. By default, when you just type the word union into your code, it performs what is called a union distinct. If you're familiar with basic coding, think of this like creating a set instead of a standard list or array. Because a set automatically filters out duplicates, the operator basically acts like a strict bouncer at a club. It scans the final stacked list, and if it sees the exact same employee name appearing twice from our two different tables, it entirely drops the duplicates. It only lets unique values through the door. But wait, what if your goal as a manager is to actually see every single record without anything being filtered out? Well, that's where you use union all. Going back to our coding analogy, this is simply concatenating or appending two arrays together. It completely bypasses that duplicate filter. It just blindly opens the doors and stacks every single row from the first table on top of every single row from the second table, duplicates and all. Knowing the difference between that strict set behavior and the open array behavior is absolutely critical for accurate reporting. Section 3. Tagging data for insights. Building the executive report. All right, let's shift over to the executive perspective for a minute. Stocking names is great and all, but as a manager, a giant list of raw names doesn't really give you insights. We need to figure out how to turn these stacked rows into a highly formatted, segmented report that provides instant, actionable intelligence the very moment you look at it. To build this kind of executive report, we just follow 3 logical steps. Step 1, we filter our data using a where clause. So maybe we isolate specific ages or salary brackets. Step 2, we inject a custom label text directly into the data. And step 3, we stack these newly labeled queries together using our union operator. It's a very systematic approach that totally transforms raw data into a compelling narrative. So the absolutely crucial point here is step 2. And honestly, this code snippet is pure magic for reporting. Select first name, last name, highly paid employee. Do you see what's happening there? You can literally hard code a custom text column, in this case, the phrase highly paid employee, right into your select statement. You aren't pulling that phrase from the database anywhere. You are inventing it right on the fly. This means the final output isn't just raw data anymore. It's a pre-categorized list that is instantly ready for leadership to review. Section 4, the final executive report, segmenting the workforce. Let's look at how the database source material perfectly demonstrates building this highly segmented executive report using these exact custom tags and union operators. Using the exact categorizations from the database examples, we are creating 3 distinct queries and stacking them. First, a tag of old man is applied where the demographic age is over 40 and gender is male. Then we union that with a second query, an old lady tag applied where age is over 40 and gender is female. Finally, we union that whole thing with our salary table, applying a highly paid employee tag where the salary is over $70,000. And to make it a true, polished executive report, we wrap it all up by ordering the entire stacked output neatly by first name and last name. Boom! You've just categorized your entire workforce in one clean sweep. So, we've covered the strict structural rules of stacking columns, we've met the coding logic of union distinct functioning like a set, and we've learned how to hard-code custom labels to generate some truly incredible management insights. Understanding the difference between union and union all really empowers you to transform completely scattered, chaotic tables into brilliant, actionable reports. So I want to leave you with this thought. Knowing what you know right now, how will you label and merge your scattered data for your next big executive report tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.